Time to bring you up to speed on what's been said on our sister programs. America's Forum before us and the Steve Malzberg Show coming up after us. America's Forum this morning with J.D. Hayworth. James Zogby, the president of the Arab American Institute, was talking about Hamas. And they may not have started the current conflict in Israel, but they certainly jumped at the opportunity for a number of reasons.
I think that the rocket fire was inexcusable from the beginning. It probably wasn't Hamas that started. I think it was other groups, but Hamas certainly got into it after a time, especially after they saw hundreds of their leaders and cadre in the West Bank being arrested. They responded, but the response was stupid. It was basically picking a fight they couldn't win. But I think, as I've said in the previous time I was on the show with you, Israel was stupid as well because it's a fight that they can't win. We've done this now 5 times in the last 9 years. And every time it ends up the same way, no winners and a lot of losers, in particular Palestinians who die by the hundreds by the time it's over.
All right, and there are some updates here on this story as well, because as we have been reporting throughout the day, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reportedly said that he is not interested in peace talks at this point in time. Also, there was word earlier today that came out of Turkey, the president of Turkey calling on Israel to halt the offensive on the Gaza Strip, not carry out a ground incursion. The prime minister said there can be no normalizing of Turkish-Israeli ties as long as Israel's actions continue. Quote, I would like to remind Israel that a ground operation would lead to dangerous developments and sow the seeds of hatred. Such an escalation could lead to chaos in our region. There are more dead in the Gaza Strip today. It's a terrible story, but one that we will certainly follow on a regular basis right here on MidPoint and on the Newsmax network. And on the show following us, the Steve Malzberg Show yesterday, Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin talking about President Obama's funding request for the border, saying that all it does is incentivize illegal immigrants to try and make it to and stay in the United States.
What I've been trying to do, and we had a hearing in Homeland Security Committee yesterday, I've been trying to put the funding request into perspective. What the president is looking for is $3,700 million to basically attract more people here. And that's always been my problem is the way you secure the border is you reduce or eliminate the incentives for illegal crossing. When we basically bring people in here, or when people come in here illegally and then we let them stay indefinitely, that's an incentive for them to come. When the Senate passes a comprehensive immigration reform bill, it has $262 billion of welfare benefits for non-U.S. citizens. That's an incentive for people to come.
Reminder right here on Newsmax TV, 9 o'clock Eastern Time until noon, America's Forum with J.D. Hayworth. We're here from noon until 3 o'clock with MidPoint, and then the Steve Malzberg Show from 3 until 6 o'clock Eastern Time. That is every Monday through Friday right here on MidPoint. 1 minute that we have left here, I just want to point this out as well, too, to what was being said there regarding the $3.7 billion that the president is asking for. If you look into it, $1.8 billion is for resettlement costs to be appropriated to the Department of Health and Human Services in order to resettle those that are here. And also the Department of Justice would be given $15 million to hire attorneys to defend the individuals here against deportation in removal proceedings before an immigration judge. So what is happening here, and this is what a lot of people are very upset about in this supplemental budget request of $3.7 billion, is that they claim that there is money here that is not being used in order to send the refugees / illegal aliens back. It is being used to settle them here. That leads credence again to the part of the argument where people say that the plan here all along was to be able to make sure that these individuals could stay and become part of the democratic process. That and a whole lot more as we continue. But right now, here is another American moment.
By mid-1944, German military occupation engulfed the continent of Europe, while across the English Channel, an armada of men and equipment was preparing to take it back. On the 5th of June, Allied armies from the United States, Great Britain, and Canada joined those from Australia, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, France, Greece, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, and the Netherlands, and set sail for the Normandy coast. But they weren't all soldiers. At morning's first light, London Bureau Chief for the future NBC radio network, George Hicks, broadcasting live from the deck of an American ship, provided Americans back home with a front row seat.
Here we go again, another plane come over.
Supreme Allied Commander General Dwight D. Eisenhower also used that same venue, radio, to inspire both his troops and the nations they were being sent to set free.
The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory.
The date was D-Day, June 6th, 1944. You're watching An American Moment on Newsmax TV.